Yo, welcome back to the new Audio Theory podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. How have you been, bro? I like the new setup. Got $1 million painting right behind him. So I'm feeling the vibes. Is the hookah, is that brought with you or was that already there?
Yeah, it was brought with me.
Nice.
Mainly, so I'm doing a staycation with some of the fam for Christmas. So we're doing an Airbnb in Calabasas.
Okay. How far
and
is that from like where your mom lives?
It's like a 30-minute drive, so nothing
Okay,
too
nothing crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, we're obviously gonna be at home kicking it. There's like a pool and stuff, so figure a
Nice.
hookah vibe one of those days should be fun. So yeah, looking forward to that.
So I know your family can be big or it can be super like tight knit and like smaller groups at times. So how big is this like group for Christmas and New Year's gonna be?
So for Christmas, relatively small group. It's just my dad's side of the family essentially. So me, my
Okay.
dad, my two brothers from his side, and then my cousin from, well, she's originally from Canada, but she's in New York, has been in New York, so she's coming down with her boyfriend. So it'll be I think 6 of us total.
Okay.
Um, so it should be fun. And then New Year's, not really doing anything. Just kicking back and
Oh, so
um,
for New Year's you'll be back in the Bay, or are you
yeah,
staying in?
yeah, I'll be back in the Bay. So leaving the day after my birthday back to the Bay. So it'll just be me and the wife hanging out. We kind of stopped trying to celebrate New Year's just because it's one, you can spend a lot of money if you're trying to do something that's
Yeah.
away from home. And then on top of that, I don't know, I find myself really pressuring myself to have fun on that day just because it's like the end of the year when everyone goes out and then you're kind of trapped in that one location for like the
Yeah.
whole night.
Ubers are out of
And
the question because like their
Uber's out,
fucking
yeah,
surcharge is insane.
exactly. And I don't really want to like sleep over at, on the couch or some random guest room and wake up all hungover and shit. So
Yeah.
taking it easy, and then we can get into it shortly. But like these past few days have been like super stressful and depressing in a way. So I'll keep it short. But Saturday,
Okay.
Saturday, my wife and I and a couple of friends are going to a Christmas party, and like maybe not even
I'm sorry,
half
this,
a
this
mile.
past Saturday,
Yeah,
correct? Okay.
yeah, this past Saturday, and so like literally several blocks before the Christmas party house, we get into a minor accident. So she's
Oh
driving.
shit. Oh, I
Yeah.
did see the thing,
Mhm.
but I didn't think it was okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get into a minor accident. Fortunately, no one's hurt. Both cars are relatively fixable, we'll
Sure.
say. But she basically, there's in San Francisco, the lanes are kind of confusing because a lot of those like muni metro trains or whatever have lanes, but cars can drive in them too, but they don't look like regular lanes. And she was looking at Google Maps, and it did, for some reason the map didn't show that lane, so we
Mm,
hit someone in the blind spot. So she's obviously stressed out about that, wondering how much it's going to cost, and
of
we have to
course,
go to this
yeah.
Christmas party and kind of pretend like nothing happened. But so
That
the
is the
party
craziest
itself,
part, though. Like people do that all the time, though. Like you
right,
almost just died, but like fuck it, we have a plan, so let's keep going.
right. Exactly. And yeah, we get to the party immediately. You're like, we need a drink.
Yeah.
Um, Party itself is fun, but then we go out for dinner afterwards with a couple of the friends were from the party, but a couple new friends show up, and everything's going fine at the dinner, but then it ends horribly because uh, somehow the conversation transitions from religion to politics,
Oh my
talking about
god.
Palestine and Israel, and
Oh my
it gets
god.
to this heated ass argument that I did not want to be a part of. I
So
snapped because I was
who
like,
was in the heat? Like, were you in the midst of it, or you were like observing people having this conversation?
I was observing it. I got involved because I was pissed off that it was in my mind unnecessary, but
Mm,
it was between my wife and a friend, and yeah, it was just a completely unnecessary situation. And I was also pissed too because we drank so much that night. But you know what? Like when you drink a lot, but you're not feeling the fun buzz, like you're
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
drinking for the sake of trying to drink.
And like
That's how it was
you're
the whole
never
night.
gonna get drunk. Like you're never gonna get
Right.
drunk. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So I'm like, not only am I not buzzed and like having a good time, but it's just progressively getting worse. Um, so we ended the night on a horrible note. And I was
Damn.
supposed to leave to LA the next day, but um my wife and I woke up in like such a shitty mood from the day before that she was like, I don't want you to leave because I'm just gonna basically cry myself to sleep because I'm in a shitty mood. And then I wasn't trying to be 5 hours. It was raining and shit, like out of a movie. I'm like, I'm not trying to be on the
Oh, you
road by
drove to LA?
myself. hmm
Mm.
So I stayed an extra day, and then we feel better Monday because we had a day to
Of
just like
course.
chill with each other. And then Monday, an hour into my drive, my boss messages me and it's like, "Can you chat? It's urgent." And she never does that. So I'm like, "What's going on? Like, am I fired?"
What's happening, dog?
Yeah. Am I fired? Did I say something to somebody at the happy hour several days before that was inappropriate? Like, I'm thinking the worst. I mean, I knew it was gonna be bad, whatever it was. And she calls me and basically lets me know that one of my teammates passed away.
Oh my
Um,
god, dude. I'm so sorry.
yeah, thank you. And she's like about our age, so it was
Oh
even
wow.
more odd. Long story short, this girl, she was already on medical leave for a few weeks. So it wasn't a 100% surprise, but in my mind, I had seen the girl and worked with her just before she left, and she was like she looked fine. So
Mm.
I thought the medical leave was like, people have like chronic migraines and other stuff
Yeah,
that
they're
kind
just
of
like, let me just
prevents them
take a
from
break
working.
from a while. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. I didn't know if she was like bedridden or anything, but then yeah, I get this news and like I don't even know how to process it because I still don't know what happened. And uh obviously that just kind of added to the somber mood that I was kind of already in. So yeah, the first few days of the week were a bad start. But on a positive note, um past 2 days I hung out with some old high school friends who it's been difficult trying to get everyone in one place, but
Sure.
we hung out in the area that we used to hang out in, which was very surreal. Kind of felt like I was in a movie. Like we were in the same spot where we hung out every weekend, like 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
it was nice to be home and kind of relive those good memories. So that's been nice about being in LA for the past couple of days.
Nice. And that's the most recent thing you've done. So hopefully that's helping
Mhm.
lift your spirits because that's so you got that call, unfortunately, like what, mid drive?
Yeah, mid drive, like an hour into my drive.
Damn. So now you're just sitting in like just you have no other choice but to just sit in it and like kind of just
Yeah,
process. I
right.
got you.
Yep.
Oh man, that's tough, man. Rest in peace to her. Damn man, that's yeah. You don't even know if you don't even know the context, but again, hopefully it's just this wasn't something out of the blue and maybe her family was mentally preparing for who knows, man. But yeah, just rest in peace to
Right.
her. And that's wish you all the best, bro. Because regardless of how close you are, because it's tough, right? I had someone pass away at work 2 years ago, I would say. I never really worked with him, but I was aware of him. But it's also weird when you're walking by someone's desk every other day and then they're just no longer on this planet. But that's
Right,
odd,
right.
so yeah, man, really, really, I get how that can be like just completely not off-putting, but just puts you like in a weird mental space. So,
Right.
luckily you're home, man, and obviously good times with your dad about to be had and with the brothers. So, obviously you're in a good space for that. So,
Appreciate it.
dude, for me, man, I would say, dude, I feel exhausted, bro. Like I knew these last 3 weeks, the last 3 of the 4 weeks were going to be challenging from a keep your energy, keep the vibes going kind of a thing. But man, like once they happen and you're in it, you're like, whoa, like bro. So going again, all fun things though, right? But go back a month ago. I'm in Dallas for Thanksgiving, right?
Mhm.
Great times, but I'm still commuting to Dallas back and forth. You're there for 3 days. All we're doing is smoking, drinking, eating for 3 days straight. That's all we're doing. come back for 2.5 days. We go to Colombia, 3 nights. All we're doing is smoking, drinking, eating like shit, having a good time though, right? So it's all fun. And then, come back for a week, kind of try to recover from that, but not really. And then I go to New York for a full week to stay up late every night, trying to make time with my family, link up with my boys, still work the entire time. Then my fiance flies in and we have more fun shit to do, but it consists of more drinking, more eating like shit. So it's just like and obviously the traveling back and forth. Bro, the last night we broke night, bro. I haven't broken night since I was like 25, bro. Like we got back, we were on a high. We checked out the wedding venue. We had the food tasting, which was fire. We got back home at 10. Our flight was at 5 a.m. and we had to be at the airport at 3. My aunt's awake and vibing. She's like, just stay up. And I'm like, all right. So we're drinking and vibing and smoking hookah until like 2:30 right before we have to go to the airport. It's just like, bro, so like, I feel like I'm getting a little bit back to normal, but bro, I was looking rough a couple days, bro, because you could just see it. And then it's also that thing where like, I mean, as an intro, you probably relate more than most, but like, when like you also just are like annoyed by people past a certain point, like, dude, I think I love my uncle to death. He's a great human being. But I think at one point he even said, "Oh man, you're looking like you've gone through a rough day." And I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like I don't know what the fuck to tell you." So yeah, man, it's been again pretty exhausting. So I'm grateful that for me and the fiance, these next 2 weeks for Christmas and New Year's, we're just staying home, man. Like it's gonna be work slightly chilled, kind of, not really, but chilled enough that again it's not too crazy. We have a half day Friday, off Monday, and then I'm off the following Friday and Monday. But yeah, man, just chilling at home. We're good. We do like Christmas dinners that we go out for like a date. We recreate our first date as well the day after Christmas, and then New Year's, the day before New Year's, we're going on a boat with some of the guys you met in Colombia. So that'll be fun. But New Year's Eve, we're just going to be at home chilling. Maybe go for dinner right before, then come home like a couple hours before the ball drop and just, vibe, drink some more and just relax. But I'm excited I'm going to be home, man. Like God willing, knock on wood, I don't have any traveling on my agenda until the wedding 4 months from now. So I'm excited that I'm going to be a homebody and get into my routine, bro, because I think that was my biggest stress about these last 3 weeks, bro. Like obviously again, all fun things. I'm very grateful, but like, the 3 months prior to that, it was wake up at 6, go for a run, get the day going. And like, you can't do that in New York in fucking December, bro. It's 28 degrees outside. I'm sleeping in a fucking pull-out bed where my back is killing me now because of it. It's just like, so very grateful again for the accommodations of loved ones, but very happy to be home, bro. Like very happy to be home.
No, I resonate with that 100%. My neck is super fucked up right now. I don't know if it's the bed I'm sleeping in or what, but yeah, I just get out of, as much as I love traveling or being back home in LA and stuff, messing with my routine can get stressful at times. I don't have the same incentive to like eat healthy and do my gym time and stuff. I'm like, all right, let me hang out with this person because I'm not going to see them this week if I don't. Let me just relax and eat at the places that I don't have back home. So it's beautiful because I get to cherish these moments, but then my body's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yo, what's going on? Yeah, and it sounds so like old of us to say like, oh, we love our little routines, but like, again, I'm glad that we're partaking, right? Because I also think like, dude, God forbid, like you just had a reminder of how precious life is. Like, dude, I have that reminder every day when I think about my mom and you think about your brother. It's like, I also need to cherish these moments with like my family members, right? Like I went to meet my dad for breakfast on Sunday and him and his wife made this super fattening Dominican breakfast. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to have some super fattening food like in 4 hours. I shouldn't eat this. But it's like, bro, eat the fucking food, bro. Like you can work it off later, right? So I get that. But again, we're also human. And dude, like when your body's so used to you doing the right thing, these 2 or 3 weeks of consecutively just not doing that, dude, it's going to take a toll, bro. And I think it just takes a toll on me personally more like emotionally and like I have like more like brain fog that my brain is just like, all right, man, like what are we doing now? Do you want to be lazy or do you want to be productive? I can't do both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And this time of year, I always end up being lazy. I think I kind of absorb everyone else's attitude because everyone's like, January's around the corner. We can do the New Year's resolution bullshit starting week one. But
yeah.
for now, it's just like, let's eat what we want to eat, drink, hang out, do all the fun stuff because it's the end of the year and we deserve it, basically.
Yeah. I've been good enough about doing a mixture, dude. I still went for 2 runs in New York, not long runs, but bro, I was running at it was like 33 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And I ran fast because I'm like, I need to get home. Like, that's like the
That's one
fastest
way
I ever ran.
to motivate
Yeah, that's
yourself.
like yeah. But no, man, it's gonna be a good. We're gonna have a good time for Christmas. We're gonna bring the New Year's right, and then yeah, man, we're gonna have a great start to next year. I truly believe that. But I did want to make the episode. I believe this is episode 162. A nice little recap of the year, things that stood out to us, things that we were surprised about, and maybe some like people that surprised us as well. So do you want to do the Drake video now, or do you rather just see if that comes up towards the flow of the show?
I know at which point of the show I want to bring it up, so we can just dive straight into the list of stuff.
Okay, let's do it then, bro. So episode 162, about to kick off, pretty much a 2023 recap. So for you, my G, what was song of the year?
This one is definitely tough, but actually,
think
I
so
don't know if
too.
it was that tough. But I had a handful of choices, I would say. It
Okay.
wasn't hard outside of those handful of choices, but I would have to say "Oh You Went" by Young Thug.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Part of it was, I mean, my Spotify, list didn't lie. My wrapped up for the year. I think that song just has a very upbeat vibe. I think it works for the summer. It even could fit like for a holiday period. It just has a very nice, like uh almost like triumphant but like celebratory sound to it. And it just I never really get sick of bumping that song. Um and I think when I first heard it, I fell in love with it and just couldn't stop playing it. So for me, at
Hmm.
least, I feel like it's song of the year.
So for you, that one didn't like grow on you over time. That was like an instant, like, oh, this is it.
Yeah, instantly I was like, this song's amazing. Unfortunately, the rest of the songs on that Young Thug album like didn't even compare to this one.
Correct.
Um, but for me, when I heard it, I was like, this is the one.
This is the one. No, dude, I totally agree. Side note as well. So Blair did like the videography for my bachelor party, and he chose that song. And then 2 years prior, he also chose another Young Thug song. So Young Thug definitely knows what to do for like a bachelor party theme. Play Young Thug
Yeah,
in the background for sure.
100%.
Dude, so for me, man, this was actually pretty. It was a good reminder. So I also have my my wrap up replay on Apple Music. Not as fun as yours, but still, it gives me data points that I can refer to it on this pod. So, dude, for me, honestly, I'm gonna go with People might be surprised. People might assume Drake, but I'm gonna go with "The Ride" by Lil Yachty. I think for me, it was refreshing. My only regret about that song is that it came out so early in the year, and it maybe got my hopes up too much, my hopes too high for what other artists were going to bring as far as differentiating themselves in the industry as far as that genre is concerned. But I thought "The Ride" by Lil Yachty off his album, which I believe was called "Let's Start Here," I thought that was my song of the year, man. It's everything I love about like hip hop, and also like a nice, beautiful mix of all the other genres I kind of fuck with in one. So I felt like that for me personally, that was my song of the year.
Awesome. No, not mad at it at all. I think, and we'll get into it later on, but I think that was the moment where I really appreciated Lil Yachty's artistry, and I was hoping it was gonna kind of foreshadow more experimentation or like versatility within hip hop. I think
Hmm.
that never kind of came to fruition, but that song is amazing.
Correct. I'm gonna give an honorable mention real quick though to where the fuck did it go? Uh, Private Landing with Don
Mm,
Toliver,
amazing
Future,
song.
and Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Definitely honorable mention because that shit, bro. Again, there's no reason why Justin Bieber went that hard.
Yeah, yeah. No, he that song's fire.
All right, so song of the year. I like both of our choices. Please let us know in the comment section your thoughts as well. Album of the year, my G. Who do you think had the album of the year?
For me, this one was kind of a no-brainer. I would have to say Utopia. If I'm comparing it to everything else, especially that came out this year, I think Travis Scott was the only one who provided something, at least from a mainstream standpoint, something that was different. I feel like we've been overwhelmed with drill music, or just like um, kind of that emotional trap that like Lil Baby and Lil Durk have a tendency to do at times. And Utopia was just really refreshing for me and long overdue. Um, and I still listen to several of those songs and saw him live, and it was just really a dope experience. So for me, I think it made 2023 uh, a
Bearable?
worthwhile moment for hip hop. You said terrible?
No, bearable. Like
Oh,
just
bearable.
bearable.
Yeah, yeah. Bearable is probably the perfect word that I was looking for, but you mentioned it, and it makes perfect sense for what I was trying to describe.
Yeah, no, I feel you, dude. Yeah, dude. Again, my only regret for Utopia was I wish that my initial sit down to listen was just a better environment. I think I mentioned a couple times to you and Ann on the pod. Dude, I was in a
Mhm.
hotel room trying to listen on my AirPods or listen just from the speaker on the phone, and just like it wasn't hitting. So, dude, till this day, I don't think Utopia did for me what it did for a lot of people. But for that situation, I feel like I'm the problem. Like I feel like you hear it once. It's almost like when you I think because I didn't hear it the way I wanted to as far as setup, but then I was stuck with having to see everyone's reaction to it. So then I'm
Right.
like, oh fuck, then what am I missing? You know what I mean? And now like I'm forcing myself to like it as opposed to just like hearing it, you know? So
Exactly.
that's where I think the fuck up for me was. But I think it's more of a me issue because I know the reviews and everything you said about your experience has been great. So
Mhm.
definitely with you on that one. Dude, for me, I'm gonna keep it on brand. Lil Yachty again. Let's start here. I think for that album drop, I didn't have any previous connotation of what to expect. If anything, I set the bar super low because I'm like, bro, like this guy, what is that? Well, because I think he dropped like Poland like 3 months
Mhm.
prior, and you and I were like, what the fuck is this? And like, how is this popular? You know what I mean? So I think the bar was just so low for me. But then, bro, I just had a Friday night to myself in the backyard. I was smoking, had the lights on, and bro, I put that shit on, and from start to finish, I was just transformed somewhere else. And I didn't think Lil Yachty was gonna take me at any point in my life, let alone in 2023. So for me, Let's Start Here by Yachty was my album of the year. But I also want to give honorable mention to A Gift and a Curse by Gunna, which I think Complex picked for their album of the year. Because, dude, as far as a rap album, that's still my favorite rap album of the year because I think he fucking rapped his ass off.
Yeah, not mad at it at all. I think those are two very good picks. And honestly, I don't know about the Yachty one, just because I think some people wouldn't necessarily refer to it as like a hip hop or urban album or whatever. But the Gunna one, easily, some people would say, was neck and neck with Utopia, depending on, I guess, which you know, I don't know, vibe you prefer, or like, yeah, mood that it puts you in.
Yeah, dude, agreed, and that's why I appreciate that Complex even like gave it that shout out because after the Grammy snub, I was like, yo, are people just gonna like ignore the fact this might have been the best or at least the top two album of the year? So
Mm.
I appreciate Complex doing that. All right, so we have album of the year, song of the year. So, dude, who are you? Before we get into most valuable artist of the year, MVP, who do you think is the most improved artist for 2023?
I would say Lil Yachty. Um,
Nice.
and that was even like for me, I regardless of what the public thinks, for me, it was the first time I actually tuned into his music and appreciated his artistry. I do think there's certain sounds he's stronger at in certain instances where like I could care less if he's on the song or not. For
Yeah.
instance, I didn't like him at all in that J. Cole collab he did.
Hmm.
But I would say most improved because he changed the narrative. It seems like he changed the narrative of who he is and his place within hip hop. He's like attached at the hip with Drake. Um, I think a lot of people respect that album he put out. I forget the name of it. You just mentioned it.
Yeah,
You
let's
said it
start
was your
here.
album of the year. Yeah, let's start here. Um, and he just seems to be more respected. So I feel like he really improved this year, in my opinion.
Dude, great choice, bro. Great choice. I've already obviously picked him a couple times, so I won't repeat yours. That's a great notion because again, it's everything you would want in an artist, right? Like that. Honestly, dude, like if I had to like say a beef I have of over the last 2 or 3 years, dude, think about you and I at Coachella in 2018, and we're like stunned by how talented Jaden Smith is at like 19, 20 years old, and then it just feels like the shit plateaued, but honestly, I want to say it regressed, right? Because if it plateaued, it would still, you think, very good music, right? And I feel like everything we've
Mhm.
gotten from Jaden over the last 2 or 3 years, we're just like, bro, what is this, bro? Like you were putting out classics when you were 16 years old.
Yeah.
How are we here? So I appreciate that Yachty as a 24, 25 year old, you see a progression of him like having fun, being silly, being goofy, trying different things. And now it just seems that like he's very aware of what he can and cannot do. So dude, great pick. For me, I'm gonna stay in hip hop kind of, but I'm gonna go with Offset. Again, not that he's done great things as far as leaps, but I truly enjoyed the album he dropped this year. And bro, I'm just impressed that he continues to be able to stand on his own as an artist, right? Like if we again rest in peace to Takeoff, but bro, I feel like those Takeoff and Quavo are almost like specifically just known as the Migos, right? Like that's what they're known for. And I do like that over the last 2 or 3 years that Offset has tried to create his own lane in hip hop and the culture. And I feel like his music has progressed as well, where it's like, all right, dude, I can listen to multiple Offset projects and be satisfied. So I think that's pretty cool to see from someone when the rest of the group is just known for the three of them being together as opposed to their individual solo careers.
Yeah, that's a great pick. And especially this year, I kind of almost forgot that he was part of a group.
Hmm.
Obviously I know he's part of the Migos, but like I caught myself subconsciously seeing him as his own person,
Correct.
like for the first time, I think
Think about
ever.
how hard
Or
that is, right? Because I feel like you think about other artists who are known for group work, it always feels like, all right, well, let me go do my own solo project, right? This just
right.
feels like he's a solo artist, right? And I feel like that's
Yeah,
a massive compliment for someone who's been a part of a group that's so successful.
for sure.
All right, so we have most improved. I mean, I'm actually gonna save MVP for like the last of these like specific ones. So let's go with biggest disappointment of the year.
For me, I would have to say Lil Wayne. Um, and I don't even know if it's necessarily his fault, but he released two projects. One was the Fix Before the Carter Six or Fix Before the Six, one of them. And then
And
he
then the
did a
one
joint
with
album with Two Chains,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it seemed like both of them did absolutely nothing. Like I, most people forgot he even fucking released anything in the first place, and it's just so odd to me that someone who's in a lot of people's top fives and someone who I think can keep up with the new school rappers and
Yeah.
blend in still. It was just disappointing to see those projects go nowhere. And I think at one point you and I even were like uh hypothesizing on how the Carter Six would do. And I was like, I think the Carter Six would like actually do big numbers and
Yeah.
cause a lot of noise, but and you were kind of a bit skeptical of that. But now I'm like, shit, you might be right because it didn't do anything like these two projects in my opinion, and it's just disappointing in the sense that I was hoping it would do
Hmm.
more than that because this year's just been a disappointment in general for hip hop, and I felt like he was one of the people that could shift that narrative.
So I definitely will raise my hand and say I haven't heard either project. So have you like what were your thoughts actually running through? Because obviously I know the numbers are one thing, right? But how was the actual bodies of work themselves?
They were okay. I wasn't blown away. There's a couple tracks here and there that were nice, but I
Because we
think
enjoyed that one song, what, Kitty Food or something like that, or
I think it's cat food.
cat food? Yeah,
Kitty food.
kitty food. I'm thinking about my cats.
That one got mixed reviews, but I thought that was like quintessential Lil Wayne. I don't know what people were really expecting, but that didn't even do anything in the clubs
Yeah.
really. But I guess it nothing stuck. Like nothing was as catchy as it normally was. I think a lot of the production wasn't as captivating as they normally are. And it was just kind of bland. So, and I know he's not an artist where we're necessarily looking for the deepest message ever, but I just walked away feeling like, hey, like on the mixtapes and stuff, you know, you turned these beats and made it your song and this and that. And here I'm like, okay, this is cool, but you know, has everyone peaked? Because he was one of those artists where I'm like, he's unstoppable. But now I'm like, I just don't feel the same level of hunger, I guess, and level of production and everything.
Yeah, dude. I think I feel like it's a mixture of his fault, but then also maybe ours. Like I would say 60-40, like our fault compared to his. And the only reason why I say that, bro, is I think we've been spoiled by one, Drake's run, right? So we think this shit's never gonna end, right? Like you could be doing this for 15, 16 years and you should still deliver us like absolute bangers. And then I also think because of like, dude, what he was to us for that time frame, right? Like he was the guy. Like there was no denying it, right? It was him and then everyone else, right? But dude, I think as he's aged, I think we assumed he was gonna age like Jay-Z. Like we get one project every 3 or 4 years, and it's like, stop what the fuck you're doing. The GOAT has spoken, and let's tune in. And then with him, bro, it's like he had like I think issues and then went away, but then came back, and then it was just nonstop music. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, bro, whoa, like what's happening, dog? Like this is not what we want from you, bro. Like, because again, from the shit you're saying, it doesn't seem like you're very in tune with what's happening. Even though you can keep up bar for bar with some of these younger rappers, we just spent hours this year talking about how these younger rappers suck. So like you keeping up with them isn't impressive. And then the things you are saying don't have any nuance, like when we get shit from a Jay-Z and a Nas, who are obviously no longer in the game, but when they come, they just drop gems, right? So
Right.
in a weird way, it's like you just become another guy. And like, it's sad almost, bro. Like, it's almost like, I know you're not getting that big into sports, but when you see your favorite athlete kind of just doesn't have it anymore, right? Like, yeah, he's on the court, but bro, you're averaging 3 points. Like, you like, just stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I think I am with Lil Wayne. It's like, yeah, dude, the songs are fine, but it's not crazy. And dude, we're expecting crazy from you. So if you're not going to age gracefully, why not just chill? Give us a random feature here and there when you feel you can give us at least a fire 16. And then when you feel like you've observed everything that you need to observe, come back with a little album every 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean? But it just feels very like, yo, here's as much music as possible to become relevant again. It's like, bro, like, nah, dog, like that part is past. And like, I feel like you have to be like Lil Wayne, like you got to be cool with that. And I don't think he is.
Yeah. No, I agree with all of that.
Yeah, it's just wild though, bro, because yeah, you it's weird when the greats start not acting great like. You know what I mean? Like
It's weird, but then I get it. Like you can't possibly have the same run for 40, 30, 50 years or whatever. Like at a certain point, the new thing just becomes old or mediocre.
Yeah, but I'm sure that's hard to like understand for that artist though, right? Like he probably sees himself in the mirror like, oh, I'm the same guy. He probably like I can go to the studio, you know, like I feel like he still thinks he can, but it's just not being delivered at least the way he like anticipated would be. So but
exactly.
No, I agree. That's a good disappointment, bro. I'm gonna say for me, bro, not like this is not it is an artist specific thing, but not like any like music related thing. I would say, dude, the Tory Lanez thing is the biggest disappointment for me in 2023. Like, I really thought, again, he was going to be found innocent. I thought he would be out out already. So yeah, man, I would say that, and honestly, I would say that all the legal shit in hip hop has been like the biggest disappointment for me as well. Like, just like Young Thug being locked up for over a year now, like all that shit, bro. Like, it just sucks, man, because that's like and then go bring it back to music as a fan. Bro, those are two artists that I would love to have true bodies of work from, right? Not like, Tory putting out a deluxe. But obviously, it's old shit. And then also the same thing with Young Thug, like you alluded to earlier. I mean, besides one or two songs, maybe two's being generous, that album was average at best, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it just sucks that two artists, especially Young Thug, who played a pivotal role in the last 4 or 5 years of hip hop, who knows when this dude's going to be out of jail, right? So I think the legal battles in hip hop have been a pretty big disappointment for me. Like, obviously, I feel bad for them and their families and the victims, and there's victims involved, but the effect it has on the quality of music we're getting right now, especially if you hear like these rumors that other artists are afraid to rap about certain things because they feel they're going to get caught up in charges. I feel like the aftermath of all those legal battles are actually having a bigger effect than we realize.
Yeah, that's definitely a disappointment for me as well. And obviously, like, I don't think we're necessarily picking sides or saying, free everyone just because we like their music.
Correct. Yeah.
It's disappointing that
free Tory though. Free Tory.
He's someone who, for sure, if he was out, I think would be adding to music. Young Thug, debatable. I don't know if he would necessarily be doing anything super brand new.
Bro, dude, I think the opposite, bro. I think, dude, I was on the pod at least, dude. Remember 2020 or 2021? Bro, because remember, he just dropped that fucking album, his first album, was it Fun? So Much Fun? Bro, that album was a classic. So I was like, bro, this guy's about to be fucking MVP of the year, take over, and then boom, charges. Now it's like, dog, I feel like Young Thug would have a massive impact right now, bro.
Oh, he'd be successful for sure. I think maybe more so for me because he's an artist where like I don't really like his projects at all. But
he's more the one that you find that one or two songs are just like so good.
One or two songs and I can't stop listening to them. Drake's even kind of like that for me in a lot of ways. Like, I don't really think Drake makes the best albums, but when the 4 or 5 songs I pull from it, I literally can't stop listening to it. So
yeah,
Young Thug's kind of like that for me.
I understand. That makes sense. Yeah, but the legal shit, I think it has like a black cloud over hip hop right now. All right, one more before we get into the biggest surprise of 2023.
Biggest surprise, again, like you, this isn't directed at any particular artist. I think I'm pretty surprised how much the female rappers dominated this year.
It's a good one. It's a very good one.
So like with Sexy Red, Doja Cat, Megan, Ice Spice, it seemed like at least musically they were at the forefront of the conversation, whereas with the male rappers it was mostly like beef, legal trouble, like rarely about the music. And yeah, I think that was surprising to me because they were the ones that these artists were now seeking out. And you had Drake with Sexy Red, Doja Cat. I think she was one of the only rappers that had like a #1 single on the charts or something along those lines. So yeah, that was just really, really surprising to me. I can't recall if this was ever the case in recent history.
That's a great one. I'll definitely add in also Nicki Minaj. You recommend I listen to that
Nicki
album.
Minaj,
I think she's having a great, dude, low-key, she's having probably a very good year, bro, because the album's getting good feedback. Dude, 2 or 3 of those songs are doing numbers on TikTok, right? Like multiple people on TikTok are using those sounds. And then also, dude, that Barbie song might end up winning Song of the Year. So you add that all up, she had a phenomenal year and just, and dropped like essentially a deluxe version of her first album. You know what I mean? So, dude, yeah, shout out to her. Yeah, no, that's a great point, man. Like, we can make jokes about, the content and being about the same stuff of, guzzling dicks and all that bullshit. But at the end of the day, bro, like they figured something out. And yeah, I think universally, not just in hip hop, like mainstream media is jumping on that bandwagon and riding it as well. So no, that's definitely a good one. That's probably a very good surprise for 2023 as well. For me, biggest surprise of the year, bro, I'm gonna say I feel like it's Kanye related in the sense that like we probably are gonna end the year, even though he allegedly we're gonna get it on the album next Friday. So, but essentially the 29th might as well be 2024, right? So I would say for the year, like I'm surprised that we haven't gotten more from him musically. And then I'm also surprised the stuff we gotten from Kanye still seems to be in the same context of the shit he went away for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I thought when he went away, he would just be like, all right, man, like I gotta cut this shit out. You know what I mean? Like, let me keep these opinions to myself. And it feels like at least, that this album is almost like he's hinting that he's not, right? And maybe the other artists aren't gonna jump in on that bandwagon like Ty Dolla $ign and whoever the fuck else is on this album. But it feels like they're gonna let him do his thing. And it seems that his thing is still gonna be like, fuck this community, this is why they suck, blah, blah, blah. So that part is a little surprising to me, like borderline disappointing, but I don't want to say disappointing until I actually hear the album and can give it a good review. But again, just like the whole year for Kanye just seems like disappointing, like surprising. Sorry, just like what are we doing here, bro? Like, again, you're a GOAT, bro. Like act like a GOAT, like give us GOAT-like behavior. And it just feels like he wants to double down, and like that's just surprising to me.
And on top of that, I'm surprising that in this political climate with what's happening over in Israel/Palestine, more and more, it seems like people have kind of forgotten to a degree all the things Kanye said. I've seen like very supportive comments on YouTube, or even just comments being like, yo, like this music sounds great, when can we get it? Or like, you know, sometimes artists are the best artists are crazy, like we got to forgive him, and can't wait to hear it. So it I guess most people think if you speak about that community, like you're banned and you're gonna get, you know, executed or whatever. But it seems like Kanye's, at least from a music standpoint, is kind of immune to it.
Yeah, I think immune, and also at this point, I don't think like he's not signed to anyone but himself, right? So I also don't think, kind of like to the comment I was making at last episode about Diddy, that's kind of dependent on other brands. I mean, at this point, I think Kanye's just his own brand, right? He's not really dependent on anyone to help him propel his career. Like he is who he is. So yeah, it's very interesting. So I would say Kanye and the overall, you know, bubble that is Kanye is very surprising to me. So I am curious to see if this album does drop this year, like if that's really cements this take of mine, because again, it feels odd, bro. Like that's just, the whole thing feels odd. All right, but let's not push this back any further. MVP of 2023. Who are you going with?
For me, this one was a no-brainer. I think Gunna was the clearest standout. We all know that in hip hop, it's a cardinal sin to quote unquote snitch. He's someone in particular who had, it seems, at least to some degree, street credibility, and he definitely associated himself with that. So for him to not only come back after this whole child situation, he had one of the biggest hits this entire year. Some might argue the biggest when it comes to hip hop. And a lot of people conveniently didn't care or forgot about him doing the whole yes ma'am thing with the judge. And you know, he's fit now, seems super confident in his craft. And that's not an easy feat. And I don't think we've ever really seen that before, at least to this degree. And again, kind of like what we were saying with Kanye, like the music ultimately will speak for itself. So
correct.
I think he seems like a clear winner this year.
Dude, totally agree. I'll definitely co-sign that one. I'm still gonna give another answer, but I definitely co-sign that one because, bro, like, phenomenal year for him, bro. And I do like that he's getting co-signs, not from hip hop yet. I think everyone is still trying to see how Young Thug's court cases play out before they truly like give an opinion either way. but I
Yeah.
do like a lot of like NBA athletes, football athletes are like they have no issues fucking reposting a Gunna song. Dude, LeBron James did it, and we all know LeBron is like boys with Drake. So there's certain things that you're like, oh, okay. Like, dude, there's like an NFL team like gave him a shout out. Like, Gunna is more out and about and getting way more cosigns than a lot of people probably would have thought. But I do think, like, when you compare it to like a 6ix9ine or any other artist that's been in a situation like that, where the music speaks for itself, bro. Like, if you're gonna have wild accusations against you, you better come correct with like the one thing we go to you for, right? Because if the music sucks, then they'd like, yeah, fuck you, bro. Like, go away, you're a snitch. But it's hard to feel that way when you're just so enamored by the music. And also, I think it's good when you're enamored by the music and you believe it, right? Because like with the 6ix9ine thing, right? You get accused of being a snitch and being essentially a bitch, right? But then you come back with music that's so aggressive.
Yeah.
You're talking about killing people. It's like, no, you're not, bro.
Right.
Whereas we're like, I believe this shit Gunna's talking about. Like, yo, I believe you like hanging out with women. I believe you like going shopping. I believe that like there's more to the situation. You would hold down the people close to you, right? So I feel like it's just way more believable. And obviously he's also highly skilled. So yeah, no, Gunna's a great nominee and great person to talk about for MVP of the year. Bro, so I'm going to go for someone that even though he didn't drop an album, I feel like the times he did drop features, which features seem to be like the biggest thing that people talk about this person's career. I'm going to say J. Cole was the MVP of the year. Because, bro, I feel like every feature he did was an instant, like either conversation starter, hit, banger, whatever, bro. But like, this was like J. Cole's most like low-key year, but also probably the most in the forefront of like, look at me, I'm out here doing shit. So I'm gonna go with J. Cole, man, because dude, he gave Lil Durk a fucking banger. He had the Yachty song. He gave Drake 2 fucking bangers. Like, dude, it was honestly, dude, like he's had multiple moments throughout the year that, again, it's not like, hey, best album, best artist, but more like, dude, look at this guy he can do no wrong, right? And he keeps himself in the GOAT conversation at all times, which I think is really all that matters at this stage of his career.
No, that's an amazing one. I didn't even necessarily think of that. I was so fixated on first person shooter that I forgot he had done so many other features and had so many other moments, and it was so effortless too. Like, he wasn't doing anything other than just rapping his ass off, and that, again, the music spoke for itself.
It spoke for itself, right? And dude, again, there's like zero drama when it comes to this fucking guy, which is amazing. Yeah, so shout out to J. Cole, but I think Gunna is a phenomenal one, bro. So those are definitely 2 that we can't go wrong with. All right, man. So biggest prediction then, as we look into 2024, what do you think the biggest prediction will be? Like, who's going to be on top, and then who do you see maybe taking a few steps back next year?
So I'll start with the risers. I think in 2024 we'll see 3 people in particular. I think we'll see Kanye, A$AP Rocky, and Jack Harlow all have their moments in some way, shape, or form. Kanye, I think, is pretty obvious. It seems like he's gearing up for a comeback. From what I hear, it sounds amazing. And I just don't see him taking 2 years off. That seems extreme even for him. Yeah. So that's the reasoning for that. I believe A$AP Rocky has an album that's coming out. He probably was,
if he's not in jail.
Yeah, if he's not in jail. Hopefully not, because damn, like that's been a unfortunate trend this year. But I could see him, this is the perfect time for him to make a resurgence, because Drake and Travis Scott, all those people are, at least for a short while, going to take a step back. So I see that. And then Jack Harlow, smash single at the end of the year. Seems like he's back in his groove and feeling confident and ready for more of that. So wouldn't be surprised if at the very least he has a few more singles that take over the charts. It's just pretty easy for him at this point. So those are the people I think that are kind of going to be near the top of the conversation, or at least at the top, I should say. And then in terms of fallers, as a counterpoint to my surprise for the year, I think a lot of those female artists are gonna not necessarily fall off, just they won't be nearly as hot as they are right now. So I don't see Sexy Red, uh, Doja Cat, or Ice Spice being quite as popular as they were this year. Um, I feel like 2 years slash 3 years in a row would be very difficult.
Yeah.
I know Doja Cat's last album kind of slowed things down. Her image is a bit different now. And then Ice Spice and Sexy Red, like you can only
Yeah, the
have the
content at some
same.
point needs to speak for
Yeah,
itself. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right. So, and then the Lil Durks and Lil Babies, and drill. Like I feel like that stuff
Yeah, get
is
him out of here.
gonna also take a step back because we can only deal with that crap for so long. And then people are getting arrested, dying because of it too. So they
Yeah,
might
yeah.
even.
I mean, honestly,
Hopefully,
I
it
think
doesn't
like
happen. But
I feel like we've already seen the fall of drill music in 2023. To be honest,
true.
bro, like which is
Yeah.
great. And then I also think we've already seen the demise of Lil Baby's career because yeah, there was high hopes, bro. But like, really, this last run again. It might be just because of like the Rico cases or whatever, but it seems odd. No, man, those are good ones. Those are really good ones. So I'm gonna agree with you with the Kanye one for sure. I'm gonna agree with you with the Jack Harlow one. And as someone who said that he thought ASAP Rocky was next up, bro, I don't see it anymore, dog. Like I just don't. I feel like he just doesn't care. Like again, there was moments right on that Nigo album, but I feel like that was last year. Was that 2022? Right?
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Okay, I feel like it's 2022. I feel like it was last year because like none of those songs popped up on my recap, so I feel like it had to be last year. Because I definitely listened to that one song with him and Pharrell over and over again. But yeah, so yeah, dude, we get like one or two moments from him and one or two songs, and he's always like on some fashion shit, dude. But again, I'm not saying it's his fault, but I feel like he's also just very content being like in fashion, doing random collabs with different brands, and then having fucking kids with Rihanna, like which. Dude, we will all raise our hands and say, yep, that's my life, my plan for the rest of my life, which is great. But from a music standpoint, bro, I just don't see it, man. Like, there's no evidence over the last 3 or 4 years that we're going to get a great body of work from him. So that's the only one I can't co-sign. But the rest, I'm fully there with you for. And then as big as Fallers, bro, man, that one's tough, dude. This is going to be crazy because I think we both agreed he was actually last year's MVP. But man, I don't know. There's like something, I don't know if we just gotten too much 21 Savage, but I don't know. I feel like also like with him, it's just like, I don't know. There's no longer like a novelty of it, right? Like I feel like we get flooded with so much from him, at least the last like, what, 16 months? That it just feels like at some point we're like, bro, like, all right, man, like we get it. Like we get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, I don't know. I'm not over it, right? Like I hope I get a great 21 Savage album next year. But I don't know. I can see him taking a step back only because, bro, think about it. Like he's been on this rise. So at some point, like I don't think he's that kind of artist to keep that up. So the only way to go is down for him, right? So I'm not saying he's not about to fall to planet Earth and just become like a nobody. But as far as like what to expect from like someone who's at this higher level, I think it's only going to be down for him next year.
I can see that, and I feel like a lot of it might be his own doing too, just because he's been so involved. So he might even just take a step back and be like, I'm just gonna ride the success of Her Loss and whatever other features he's done, and just chill out.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get like another Metro Boomin collab. But have you seen like the back and forth for Metro Boomin and Drake?
Yeah, that's super odd.
There was a comment that was like, "Yo, is this the battle for who gets to keep 21 Savage?"
That's funny. And he did this song "Oh You Went," which is like one of my obviously my song of the year, and it's weird because him and Drake like are a perfect match as far as production and melodies.
Bro, he did like all of the What a Time to Be Alive mixtape. He's done multiple songs with like it's just weird, bro. But I think that's also like again, I think Metro's also very young. He's coming off I think this beef is strictly of like Metro hating on like Her Loss getting more love from what I've seen. But yeah, man, I don't know. I hope it doesn't become a real beef because we don't need that shit right now. But yeah, very, Very interesting. All right, one more before we get out of here. A couple more actually. All right, so let the people know, like, what do you think? We can talk this out. Like, what do you want to like us to put out in the atmosphere for the podcast, right? So I think we've changed up our setup a couple times. We have a new process when it comes to TikTok and Instagram posts, as well as YouTube Shorts, getting a lot of love there. So like, if we had to put a number out there so the people could hold us accountable to like where we're at next year, what do you think realistically that should be as far as like to strive for?
That's a tough one because I mean, I would love to aim for the stars. I think we've mentioned a couple times, like just you're talking about like subscriber base.
Yeah, I guess so. Subscriber base. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like the main platform. Like that's the main like starting point where most
Yeah,
these pods are like kind of ranked, right, or like judged
yeah.
on.
I mean, I'm always a fan of aiming higher and then potentially landing lower than that. So I would say 10K would be ideal. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, especially because I follow so many um creators who have a similar approach and talk about similar things that have that amount and if not more and continue to grow super fast. So I think that's the number I'd like to get towards. But in terms of other things, I think um I would love to incorporate some sort of new spin to like the pieces we put out,
Hmm.
just to see if we might be able to latch on to something and be the first to do something differently as opposed to necessarily uh mimicking what other people are finding success with, if that makes sense.
That makes a ton of sense, bro. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude, I like that. I like that take for sure because I think there's a way for us to bring a nuance, but that's also doesn't feel like, oh, but I've seen this before somewhere else, kind of a thing.
Right.
So no, I definitely agree with that, man. And I feel like that one is tough because that one's I feel like right in front of us, but it's just gonna take time for us to figure out what that is, right? Because I feel
Mhm.
like it might be something we're already doing, but it's just like how are we presenting it to ensure that we're getting more eyeballs on all our different pages on different platforms. So, all right, yeah,
Right.
definitely. And I feel like 10K will come naturally if we can pull the like the nuance thing off, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, I like that, man. I agree with that. I feel like it's on us to figure it out, but I do think it's so close. That's like the frustrating part, right? Because when you have like those few posts that I'm not saying go viral, but you just see nonstop likes, nonstop comments, and like dude, when you see people arguing with themselves in your comment, you're like, see, like I know this is like newsworthy shit we're bringing you. Then you get other posts where it's like one like, you're like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but again, we're gonna be here. So everyone, keep tuning in next year. We're gonna keep putting out content until we can't. But for you, my G, so I know we dropped what 5 songs on the Blair Anthony project this year. Was it 5 or 4?
I believe it was, let's see, one, two, three, four.
4, 4.
Yep.
So 4 songs in 2023. So essentially one a quarter. So what do you want to tell the people as far as how you envision 2024 going for you?
Um, I'd say the same. Each year, I think vaguely I want to put out as much music as I want to, or as I can, I should say, um, and as I want to, because if I'm not gonna hold myself to a target and just try to flood the market with songs just to say I have a bunch out, but definitely as much as possible. Was kind of working on something before we even did the episode that I'm
Oh,
feeling good
nice.
about. Um, but outside of that, I definitely want to get back on creating more content for um for next year. I think Reload was the first time I did like a music video style thing, like a interactive, engaging looking type thing. So I definitely want to do more of those. Potentially find some like open mic or something to perform a few songs in my area.
Oh, that'd be
Now that
sick, dude.
yeah, that would be dope. Yeah, and outside of that, just get back into it and be more consistent, I guess. And again, figuring out my own unique spin to get music out there without uh feeling inauthentic. I don't
Sure.
know, the TikToky stuff just feels too corny to me sometimes, and I feel like it uh I don't want to say over. I don't think oversaturate is the right word, but when you hear the same 8 seconds or whatever too many times, it just drives me crazy. I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll drive other people crazy, and yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid.
No, I feel you with the TikTok stuff for sure. So obviously, first part, I did the idea of an open mic is fire, right? Because I feel like that can bring eyes to you without you even having to do a ton of like marketing work, right? Like just go
Right,
find a
right.
spot and hopefully people, enjoy it, obviously, and then repost you and shit. But dude,
Mhm.
I feel with the TikTok stuff, right? That's why I feel I've taken a step back on creating like individual because I had like the A bars fits as far as like outfits and stuff. But like,
Mhm.
man, I don't, dude. Either it's from seeing people out in the wild creating content, or like just like observing TikToks, right, from other people, and it's like, bro, like this is corny, right? Like, again, I can enjoy this, but also agree that this is corny as fuck, right? Because, and
Mhm.
I'm talking about those videos where it's like, dude, like a runner, right, or like, get ready with me, and like people are like have a camera in their house and they're walking past their fridge or what. I'm like, bro, like this is fucking ridiculous, bro. Like we know that you planted that there, you went to do your thing, pretended, and then you came back. Like it's just, I don't know, bro. It just feels so inauthentic, right? Whereas I appreciate like the TikTok where it's just someone talking to you, right? Like I
Mhm.
appreciate those, but like the ones where I have to like, change my shirt and make it look in a way that I didn't change my shirt. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck are we even doing here, dog? So
Right.
like, I feel with the hip hop stuff, right? Because dude, like your favorite artists aren't doing that, right? So it's like it's tough for you to truly buy in when you're like, bro, like that's not what I'm trying to do, though, right? I'm not trying to get
Right.
on doing that, and then like maybe you expect that from me, and I'm like, bro, but I hate doing this.
Right. And that's why like I the lyric videos are fine with me because it's just literally you get to see the lyrics and me rap it or whatever. But when I'm like, this song is, perfect if you just, took a shit and are ready to go to the club. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to have to do that and force people to think it's deeper than it is or anything like that. Like, I just want people to listen to it. And I know that'll hold me back in terms of the quick viral fix. Uh, but I don't want to be an artist who does one of those like funny captions, song blows up, and then I'm like
That's all they're
chasing
looking
a bunch of
for.
followers and shit. Yeah. Or they like know me as the one guy who has the 4 seconds of the song everyone loves. And then now I'm like handicapped trying to just
Recreate that.
make viral shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, I totally get you, man. But yeah, dude, the open mic I think would be a great organic way for you to stay true to yourself, but also just get more people, right? And it's also
Yeah.
something that you can do on your own time. Instead of being at home chilling with the hookah, like, yo, fuck it, let me just find an open mic in San Jose. So like that'd be
Right.
yeah, dude, definitely keep me posted with that, bro. That'd be some shit I fucking fly out for to support and maybe do an episode over there.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
but cool, man. Anything else you want to talk about? We didn't bring up the Drake thing. Do you want to bring up the Drake thing real quick, or?
Yeah. But yeah, we could do that. That one would be a quick one, anyways.
All right, so real quick, Drake dropped the video for, was it Broke My Heart?
Yeah. You broke my heart.
You Broke My Heart. That's the one that goes, fuck my ex, banger.
Mhm.
But the video is 6 minutes long, horrendous. It has so much potential in the first minute and a half, and then it just becomes a cringy, TikTok-y video with two highly attractive females poorly lip singing a song. So so my thoughts on this are like, I think like again, I'm not mad at the idea of artists just giving us videos. Like I don't need every video to be first person shooter, which dude, arguably probably might be one of the best videos I've ever seen in the last 4 to 5 years. Right? Like it's hard for
Yeah.
me to
Yeah.
think of another video that's at that quality. But
Mhm.
it's also like, bro, like if you're gonna do this, where like we see you acting and it gets
Right.
us enticed, then follow through with it, bro. Because then,
Right.
if not, just give us a lyric video or like a synthesizer, whatever the fuck they call those videos, where it's just like bullshit things happening, but we know you're not in it, so we don't judge you for it. But if you're
Yeah.
gonna be in the video acting, like, bro, this is a waste of my time. I'm like, bro, this is so long. First of all, like, I'm
Right.
glad like once the credits popped up, there was still like a minute and a half left. I was like, all right, cool, I'm done. It's not the full 6 minutes, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is just, it didn't make sense to me, bro. Like, if you're not gonna fully go all in, then don't give us a video. Just put the song out on YouTube and pull some bullshit like, your house on constant replay or something.
I 100% agree with that take. I'm glad you agree because I was excited. I'm like, this is the end of the year, first person shooter, phenomenal video. Again, one of the best videos I've seen that I can remember. And then he gives us this, the intro, super dope. The acting's pretty on point and cinematic. And then two random white girls who I have no idea to this day who they are, poorly lip syncing. Half the time you can't even see what they're saying because it's so dark, and they're just
and they're facing each other,
flailing around.
Like, yeah,
facing each other. They don't look menacing at all, even though they blew up the whole goddamn city. Looks like a poorly recorded TikTok video. I'm sure we could find TikTok videos of random girls lip syncing the same song way better. And it just seemed pointless. And Pop Star, for instance, he had Justin Bieber lip sync. That video was super dope, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Lighthearted, fun, engaging. This was just like super pointless. I still to this, like, I don't understand why they needed 4 minutes of the girls just walking by the blown up car. Like, it was so unnecessary.
And I'm like, when it kept going on, I'm like, yo, are they gonna show us like the like a flashback to like who these girls are and like how bad he cheated on them and like something, bro. Like
no character development at all.
None. It's like, yo, yeah, fuck these girls, and then you die, and it's just like, bro, what? Like, what is this, dude? Like, yeah. So, dude, like, just odd, bro. But again, this is stuff that he does to just keep the conversation going. I do now truly believe though, like some of these pages, like they delete comments, bro, because all the fucking comments I saw were like, yo, great fucking song. This shit's inspiring. I was like, well, what? Bro, like there's no fucking way.
Those have to be bots. Because I don't know if you're aware, but there's I specifically, and this is how much I was trying to like get out of the matrix and find the truth, because I I went to a YouTube comment search website so you can filter through the billions of comments and find keywords. I typed in white girls, hundreds of comments like, this is so cringy, why'd you have these random girls
for this video?
Yeah, and if you sort it by newest, you can see the bad ones.
Okay, dude. Yeah, because just on like when you just scroll down and I just like the first 20, all positive. Dude, this guy knew to drop this right before the end of the year because we needed to hear this shit now. I'm like, first of all, this song has been out for 3 weeks. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. No,
bro. Yeah. But again, I think it's just to keep the conversation going. But it just, dude, the word you used, pointless. Like, the video is fucking pointless, bro. Like, and again, you're entitled to put out whatever the fuck you want because I'm sure he gets paid off these fucking millions of views. But it's just like, dog, like, this is a waste of our fucking time, dog. And even the audacity to have like credits, like directed by, bro. We don't give a fuck. Like,
just so we know who we can harass now for making this crap.
Yeah. But all good, man. That's we may have to add that one to biggest disappointment of 2023. But all good, man. But we're gonna give people some heat of the week before the year is over. So heat of the week, episode 162. I'm gonna start it off, bro, because this is a song that I was looking for the Colombia trip because I've only heard people do it on DJ sets. So a DJ finally got the copyright approval to fully put this out as a release. So this is called Beso / Fruta Fresca, and it's DJ called DJ Joaquin. And bro, it is a classic 1980s, 1990s song by a Colombian artist called Carlos Vives with some phenomenal Afro house like beats, bro. So like it's the same vibe we listened to on the boat, but like the best way done. So I'm gonna say this to you, but dude, this song is A1, bro. So I'm gonna send this to you now, and then put that on at some point over the holiday weekend because you're definitely gonna enjoy it.
Nice. No, looking forward to hearing that one. For me, it's been tough. I haven't really heard anything since we last spoke too much, but there was one song that I've been still listening to quite a bit over the past couple weeks that I heard, I don't know, about a month ago or so. It's called Talk to 'Em, like talk number 2 EM by AG Club. AG Club, I heard about them. I don't know, a few years ago. I don't know if alternative hip hop is the right uh genre I would align them with, but they definitely give like Odd Future kind of vibes. Like they're definitely
Okay.
like the young, rambunctious, like we do things our own way type of rap group that doesn't follow trends. Um, and for that reason, I think they're pretty versatile, and they're one of those groups that has like a cult following that's very loyal. But
Hmm.
this song in particular has a very nice, uh, soothing vibe to it. It's very upbeat and kind of clubby in a way, but um, R&B ish. So
Okay.
I don't know if there's
Yeah,
a
never
song
heard
I
of them.
could. Yeah, they're a super dope group, and this song in particular is different from what they normally put out, which is why I was pleasantly surprised. But super good, feel good vibe, something you listen to in the car as you're riding down the street. So definitely recommend checking them out in that song in particular.
Nice, send it to me because I wanna take a deep dive into their catalog. But nice man. So two good songs to end the year. But my dude, I want to say I love you as always. But dude, it's been a pleasure doing this with you all year long. Thank you for showing up to Columbia this year. You know, it made everything special. We got a lot to look forward to, both on the pod and then personally together next year as well for the wedding and you standing up there with me. You know, being one of my best men. So, dude, love you to death. To
Yes,
listeners,
sir.
we're going to keep putting out more content, so keep checking in. But my guy, let them know what we got going on, and let's get out of here the last time this year.
Yes, sir. Love you too. Appreciate all that we've done in 2023. If you're listening to this, check us out at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms, the Spotify and Apple Music playlists on there as well. It's not too late to get your merch from the site as well. So if you're on YouTube, check down below, copy something. My wife actually bought a t-shirt, so I don't know
Nice,
where you
we
want to
made
spend
$5 this
the
year.
$11 in profit, but we can spend it on something. Um, yeah, other than that, like, subscribe, comment, share, and do everything you can to support the podcast, and see you guys in 2024.
2024. Peace, my dude.
Peace.
Peace.